Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from. You're welcome to today's live stream. If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. Drop a comment if you can hear me loud and clear. Also confirm you can see my screen. You're welcome, you're welcome. How is your business? How is it going? How is it going? Hope you made some profit yesterday. And what's your plan for today's market? What's the plan for today's market? I'd like to know what pair you're planning to trade today. Let me know in the comment section. What pair are you planning to trade today? Let me know in the comment section so that we can look at it together. Can you hear me loud and clear? Please confirm. I need to be sure you can hear me. Okay. I want to believe you all can hear me. Okay, so yesterday we looked at yen basket and I told you my bias for yen basket. I told you my expectations. I want to see price clear this low. And after this shift in market structure, I want to see price pull back. You can see let's pull back to a premium area. This would have been a good entry. This would have been the best time to take a sell on Japanese yen. Though I missed this trade. I missed this trade. This would have been a good entry for the yen basket. Someone would have sold. Yeah. So at this point, you would have bought GBP JPY, CAD JPY, USD JPY. Okay. So this would have been a good entry for JPY, Ebuka money. GBP USD, GBP USD. Okay, we'll look at that in a few minutes. But let's look at the calendar. I don't think there is any major news today. I don't think there is no major news today. Okay, so JPY, Bank of Japan governor speaks, and this news was released on 1 a.m. 1 a.m. and I think that was where JPY. So at that point, JPY started selling. Yeah, around 2 a.m. That was when JPY started selling. I think after his speech, JPY, I think the speech was negative for the yen. It was negative for the yen. That is why yen dropped. And see, it was negative for the yen. Okay, so there is no major news for the dollar and other currencies. The major news we had today was just for Japanese yen, and that news has been released. So let's look at currency pairs. So let's start by looking at GBP USD. My bias for GBP USD today is I'm still bearish on GBP USD. Okay, I'm bearish on GBP USD. So let's start with the daily time frame. Daily, you can see yesterday candle looks like a shooting star. Okay, looks like a shooting star. After the close of yesterday candle, let's see the pattern we had on 4 hour. So you can see the pattern we had on 4 hour also. It was a bearish reversal pattern. And let's go down to 1 hour. After the formation of this pattern on 1 hour, let's see, sorry, on 4 hour, what do we have on? So on 1 hour, we had this low. Okay, we had this low in 1 hour, and on 15 minutes, we had this low on 1 hour, then on 15 minutes. 10 minutes, let's see. So this is what we had on 15 minutes. So we had this low on 15 minutes. The rule is wait for price to pull back to this zone. Okay, and you can see that played out yesterday after this ranging market. Price pulled back, you can see, to this fair value gap. Price pulled back to this fair value gap. Okay, you can see this retracement was to go fill this fair value gap. If you go to 5 minutes, 1 minute, I believe there's still a fair value gap above this. Okay, I want to work with just 15 minutes fair value gap. So price pulled back, fill this fair value gap, and after filling the fair value gap, you can see the pattern that formed. This is an engulfing pattern. So this would have been a good entry for GBP USD. This would have been a good entry for GBP USD. Okay, it should have been a good entry for GBP USD, and there was a shift in market structure at this point. So I'm expecting price to pull back. So this is where I'm considering. I want to see price pull back because this occurred late yesterday. Late yesterday, that was when this reversal occurred. Okay, but I'd like to see this occur in London or New York session. So I want to see price pull back to this area. This is where I would consider selling GBP USD. So my bias for GBP USD is still bearish. And if I'm selling from this zone, this will be my first TP. I'm going to drop it on the VIP signal group. Okay, I'm going to drop it for those of you in the fraternity. I'm going to drop it. At the time I will take the trade, I'll let you guys know. I will give you guys my entry, my stop loss, and my take profits. Okay, at the right time, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so let's wait for price to pull back to this zone before we sell. Okay, that's my take for GBP USD. Look for sales. I hope that is clear, Mr. Ebuka. Look for sales on GBP USD. Sales. Don't buy. Don't buy. Okay, but let's look at DXY first. Let's see the index. Let's see dollar index. Okay, so dollar index. Let's start with the daily time frame. So far, dollar has been bullish today. You can see it's been bullish. Okay, it's been bullish. Remember, the bias for the week on the dollar is still bearish. Dollar is still bearish. Okay. So far today, it's been bullish. So I think DXY might come fill this fair value gap, which is at a premium area. That is what I want to see play out on DXY. I want to see it come fill this fair value gap. Okay. So it's been bullish since the market opened. Okay. So I would like to see it pull back to this fair value gap it's created. Okay. This is where I'm considering buying DXY. This zone. Guys, I'm going to drop it on the group later. I'm going to let you guys know when I will take this trade. Okay. Once price gets into this zone, there's a high probability price will come test this zone. Okay, so you look for buys, buy. Okay, once price gets into this zone, do not hesitate to buy dollar, buy it to this zone. I hope that is clear. Good morning, Mr. Tonda, GPJPY. Okay, we'll look at GPJPY in a few minutes. So dollar, please. Once it gets to this place, those of you in the fraternity, please, you can notify me. But I'm definitely watching the market, okay? I'm definitely watching the market. Once it gets to this zone, we are buying the dollar. It means we're going to look for sales on GU, EU, AU, and NU. Okay, so this is where we're going to buy. You guys know what we're going to look out for when price gets into this zone. You guys know. So just execute once you see the setup. Okay, so DXY is bullish for today's market. It's bullish. Okay, so let's see gold. Let's see gold before we look at GBP JPY. Okay, gold. Gold long-term bias is still bullish, but I think for today's market, gold will sell. Let's start with the daily time frame. Okay, so you can see Monday, Tuesday so far, gold has been bearish. You can see gold has been bearish. What played out here? First thing gold did was to come. I think a fair value gap was at this level. You can see price pulled back through this fair value gap. Can you see that? It filled that fair value gap, and there was a strong rejection. You can see the pattern that formed after price fills that fair value gap. You can see, so gold is bearish at the moment. It is likely going to come fill this fair value gap it's created on, let's go to 4 hour. So it is likely going to come fill this fair value gap, which is in confluence with this resistance stone support. Okay, So it definitely will come clear the liquidity residing at this low and fill this fair value gap. That is what's going to play out on gold today. But I would advise you wait for price to pull back. Don't sell gold from the current market price. It has created a fair value gap here. So if you want to sell gold, I would advise you wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. Wait for this fair value gap to be filled before you sell gold. Okay. And if you are selling from this zone, your TP should be this zone, should be in this zone. So that's my take on gold. Today is bearish. Bearish. I hope that is clear. GBP JPY. GBP JPY, I'm not saying one would have bought GBP JPY at the early hours of today. Okay, one would have bought. Okay, one would have bought GBP JPY. This was around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Nigerian time. Let's start with the daily. So at the moment it's bullish, but I do not advise that you buy it at the current market price. You can see where price started going up since yesterday. GBP JPY has been bullish. So if you didn't buy GBP JPY yesterday, you shouldn't be buying it at the current market price. You shouldn't be buying it at the current market price. If you did buy it yesterday, don't buy at the current market price, because as you can see, if you apply your Fibonacci from this swing high to this swing low, you can see that price is currently at a premium area. You see it clearly on 4 hour. You can see it's currently at a premium area. You can see. So most likely, if I want to take any trade on GBP JPY, I will look for sales. I will look for sales and not buy. So we have a fair value gap here. We also had a fair value gap here. This is where I will be considering selling. So I'll be considering selling GBP JPY. Okay, so if you considering selling, these are the areas you should consider selling GBP JPY. Don't buy GBP JPY. Don't buy GBP JPY. If you want to buy GBP JPY, apply your Fibonacci from the swing low to the swing high. Wait for price to pull back to a discount area before you buy. You cannot buy from the current market price. You cannot buy. This is where price started going up. Since yesterday, it's been bullish. If you had missed this first opportunity, you had another opportunity at this point. If you had missed this opportunity, you cannot be buying from this current market price. Doesn't make sense. So I'd rather take the risk selling and aiming for hoping that price will come fill this fair value gap it's created. So I'd rather look for a sell opportunity than to buy. The risk selling, I think, is less compared to buying. Okay, so if you have any pair you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. I've given you signal on GBP USD. Once GBP USD gets to that zone, do not hesitate to sell it. Do not hesitate to sell it. Once the XY get to that zone, that discount area, do not hesitate to buy the dollar. Okay, so that's my take on GBP JPY. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, also drop it in the comment section. Okay. And if you're yet to give the video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up so that others can get to see this video. Give the video a thumbs up. And if it's your first time joining the live stream, just subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. You don't want to be missing any of the session. In every session, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I will be dropping at least 2 signals. 2 signals. So you don't want to miss those sessions. 2 signals. Any signal I drop, just ensure you execute it. Execute it, but make sure you apply proper risk and money management. I do make mistakes also. But if I give you signal out of 5 trades, I'm sure of at least 3 out of 5 trades, out of 10 trades. Worst case scenario will be 5. Will be 5. And I apply good risk reward on all my trade, minimum of 1 to 2. So if you're interested in getting free signals, just show up for the classes. I will do my best to give you 2 signals in the classes. All you have to do is just execute. Execute. Okay. Okay, so that's it for GBP JPY. Good morning, Mr. Abubakar. Good morning. It should retrace. Yeah, structure has been broken, then you need to wait for price to pull back. Okay, you need to wait for price. So if price will pull back to this area, why not take advantage of the retracer, which will be sell? Take advantage of the retracer, the retracement, which will be sell to this area. Just look for your setup. Once you see your setup to sell, then you can take sell and hope that it gets to this area. You can make some profit trading the reversal. Okay, so let's see Euro USD, same buyers, sell, selling Euro USD. You're selling Euro USD. Let's start with the daily time frame. You can see pattern we have here similar to what we have on GBP USD. So you can see liquidity that was residing at this high. We had a resistance here. Price cleared that resistance. Those above that resistance, I think it also tested this resistance. Yeah, it came also to test this resistance. You can see, and after testing this supply zone, there was a strong rejection. Okay, there was a strong rejection from that zone. You can see how yesterday candle. This is a shooting star. It's a shooting star. Okay, shooting star. So we look for sell. We look for sell. So let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see the pattern that formed on 4 hour after the close of yesterday. We should be able to identify a bearish reversal pattern on 4 hour time frame. Okay, so on 4 hour time frame, you can see the pattern we have here. It looks like engulfing. Yeah, this bearish candlestick closed below the low of this spinning top. So this is an engulfing pattern. Okay, and if you go down to 1 hour or 15 minutes, I'm sure there's a shift in market structure. Let's see 1 hour. So on 1 hour, there's a shift in market structure at this point on 1 hour. There's a shift in market structure. You see it clearly on 15 minutes. There was a shift in market structure at that level. Okay, so let's confirm that on 15 minutes. So you can see it on 15 minutes. I think this was mitigation. You can see this movement, this move, this push up was not used to clear the liquidity. So what we have here is mitigation. Okay, so we had this low here. So shift in market structure has occurred on 15 minutes. After the shift in market structure, you wait for price to pull back. You can see price needs to pull back to this fair value gap is created. That was what played out. You can see price had to pull back to this fair value gap. A lot of people would have jumped into sell here. Yes, if you had entered sell after the close of this candle, yes, you would have made some profits. Okay, you would have made some profit, but this would have been the best entry because this happened at the early hours of the day. Early hours of the day, that was when this move occurred. When the major move occurs in London or New York session, London or New York session, that's when the major move occurs. Okay, so this would have been a good end. So if you miss this move, if you've missed this move, wait for price to pull back to this area. Okay, I would like to see EU pull back to this area before I take a sell. This is where I will be considering selling EU. Okay, this is where I'll be considering selling EU. I hope that is clear. So that is it for EU. AJ, okay, Mr. Emmanuel, AJ, okay, we'll look at AJ in a few minutes. AJ and USD card, okay, a few minutes. AJ and USD card, okay. So let's see USD card. USD card. Okay. U card. U card is buy. U card is buy. U card is buy. Been buying since yesterday. Okay. buying since yesterday. After the close of yesterday candle, what pattern do we have on 4 hour? Definitely it's a bullish reversal pattern. Let's see. You can see the pattern we had on 4 hour. This is a spinning bottom. Let's see. Okay, this is a spinning bottom. Then after the close of this candle on 4 hour, go down to 1 hour. Let's see the pattern we had on 1 hour. So we had on 1 hour time frame. Can you see this? So on 1 hour, there was a shift in market structure at this point. So shift in market structure. So after the shift in market structure, we want to see price pull back to this zone. Well, price has now retraced back to this zone. Okay, so this is where I will be considering this zone. This is where I'll be considering buying USD card. I want to see price pull back to this zone before going bullish on USD card. The USD card is bullish. If you don't have a trade on USD card at the moment, patiently wait for price to pull back before you buy. As you can see, it's currently this. We have a fair value gap here. It might just fit that fair value gap and retrace. Okay. Okay. So this fair value gap could act as a resistance. Okay. So I would advise you wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap, this zone, before you buy USD card for today's market. Okay, I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Okay, so that's my take on USD card. Let's look at AJ, Australian dollar, JPY. Okay, AJ is making sense. AJ is making sense. So I'm saying something on AJ. AJ is AJ is making sense. This is a buy setup on AJ. This is a buy setup on AJ. So we had a fair value gap here on 4 hour on daily. We had a fair value gap here. Price has pulled back to fill that fair value gap. This I see this is a buy. AJ is a buy. AJ is buy. AJ is buy. So we had this on AJ yesterday. Price pulled back. There was a fair value gap that was created here. Let's go to 1 hour to confirm that. Let's go to 1 hour to confirm that. So you can see on 1 hour, a fair value gap was created here yesterday. You can see this fair value gap. You can see this fair value gap. Here's the fair value gap. You can see this fair value gap. Can you see this? Can you see that fair value gap? That is the reason for the pullback. Can you see? This is the fair value gap. It's created on 1 hour. Price pulled back. Fill that fair value gap. This would have been a good entry after the close of this candle. This would have been a good entry for Australian dollar JPY. This would have been a good entry for Australian dollar JPY. So if you want to buy Australian dollar JPY, patiently wait for price to pull back. It has created a fair value gap here. Wait for price to pull back to this zone before you buy. Okay, wait for price to pull back to this zone before you buy. Because if you look at 4 hour time frame, you can see on 4 hour we had a resistance here, and this could also, you can see price just filled this resistance, this fair value gap. I mean, you can see price has just filled this fair value gap, so this could act as a resistance. Okay, this could act as a resistance. So price is likely going to pull back to this fair value gap, but yeah, before going bullish. That's what I see playing out on AJ. That's what I see playing out on AJ. Exactly. So that's it for AJ. Look for buys on AJ. Look for buys on AJ. AJ is likely going to come fill this gap. AJ is likely going to come and fill this gap. AJ is likely going to come fill this gap. Okay. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. If this is your first time participating on the live stream, ensure you subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notification from YouTube. Like I said, in every session, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you miss all sessions, don't miss the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday sessions. I'll do my best to be dropping signals. Just hope there are good setups on the chat. If you see opportunity, I'm going to share those opportunity with you guys. I'm going to share it with you guys. All you have to do is just execute and apply good risk and money management. Like I said, I don't make mistakes too. Okay, I'm not the market maker. Okay, I'm just a speculator. Okay, I'm a speculator, so sometimes trades don't go in my direction. But like I said, if I give you 10 signals, at least 6 would work out. Worst case is 5. Okay, and with 1 to 2 risk reward, you definitely be in profit after 10 trades. You will definitely be in profit. And if you're interested in VIP signals, you want to be taking the same trades that I take, my signal service costs just 20,000 naira monthly. If you're interested, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. Okay, 20,000 naira monthly. You get entry, exit, entry, exit. I also drop the analysis. So you're not just paying for signals, you're also paying for education. Okay, you're also paying for education. You get the signals. I also share videos on the reason why I took those trades. Okay, so if you're interested in signal, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. Okay, so that's it for AJ. CN, I said AJ, wait for price to pull back. Okay, wait for price to pull back. CN, wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, this is where you should look for your entry for buy on AJ. See the price here. See the price here, 92.36. Look for your setup. I believe you have your own setup. Okay, look for your setup at this zone. Okay, look for your setup at this zone. When price pulls back into this zone, look for your buy setup. A bullish reversal pattern should form here before you buy Australian dollar JPY. Okay. All right, see you, and just drop me a message on WhatsApp. I believe you have my number, right? I believe you have my number. Okay. Any other question? Is there any other pair you want us to look at? Gold. I've shared gold analysis. Look for sales on gold, but before you sell gold, wait for retracement on gold. I've shared that. Let me go back to gold. Okay, wait for retracement on gold before, okay, wait for gold to pull back to this area, this zone before you sell. Okay, and if you are selling, your TP should be in between this zone. You can use the high or the low. Okay. Do you have any question? Is there any other pair you want us to look at? I think tomorrow there's a major news for dollar tomorrow. Let's confirm. Let's confirm. I think there's a major news. I think tomorrow is FOMC. Okay, tomorrow FOMC, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So I believe after FOMC, the dollar is going to be is likely going to start selling after FOMC. So on Thursday, don't miss the class on Thursday. On Thursday after FOMC on Thursday, I'm sure we'll see a good setup on dollar pairs on Thursday. On Thursday, we'll see good setup on dollar pairs. On Thursday, dollar is still very, very bearish. Still very bearish for the week. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know if you have any question. Let me know. If you have any question, let me know. Do you have any question? Is there any other instrument you want us to look at? Let's see Euro Aussie, Euro Aussie, Euro Australian dollar. I sold. Yeah, I sold. No, I bought Euro Australian dollar and I made so much profit on Euro Australian dollar yesterday. I made so much profit on Euro Australian dollar yesterday. I posted it on the group. I made so much money on Euro Australian dollar. Okay. So I think Euro Australian dollar is still going to come clear the liquidity residing at its previous high. But before going for this high, it's likely going to retrace. Okay, it's likely going to retrace. USJPY, okay, few minutes. Starotesco, few minutes. Okay, few minutes. USJPY, we'll look at that in a few minutes. So I'm neutral on Euro Australian dollar at the moment, but I know it's going to come for this high. Okay, but before going for that high, it is likely going to retrace. It's likely going to retrace. Okay, it's likely going to retrace. Probably if I see a buy setup here, okay, if the 4 hour time frame gives me a buy setup after this fair value gap gets filled, then I will buy Euro Australian dollar. So I want to see price pull back into this zone before taking a buy on Euro Australian dollar. That is my expectation on Euro Australian dollar. Let's just see 15 minutes. Okay. So this will be a good zone to consider buying Euro Australian dollar. There's a tiny fair value gap here. There's a tiny fair value gap here. That would be a good area to consider selling, buying. Sorry, buying. So they've created the liquidity here. You can see liquidity has been created here. A lot of retail traders would have jumped into buy, and there's losses. Also, they created liquidity here. This shooting star, and you can see they've swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. They are coming for this next one, this sell side liquidity. They've played the buy side, they would come for this sell side. And after clearing this liquidity, they want to fill fair value gap. All these lows are areas of liquidity. They will come for it. And since we have a fair value gap, or buy on Euro Aussie after retracement. I don't see opportunity on USDJPY. USDJPY has moved. USDJPY has moved since yesterday. USDJPY has moved. It has moved. It is still bullish. Okay. It is still bullish. The dollar is it is still bullish. Okay. But I don't think it will be okay to buy USDJPY at the current market price. I don't think it will be okay to buy GBP or USDJPY. I would rather look for sales on USDJPY. Okay. You can see first thing they did this morning was to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. So after liquidity got cleared, what you would have done here after liquidity got swept is to go to 1 hour, identify a bullish reversal pattern after this liquidity got swept. So you go to 1 hour, so you can see. Can you see after the liquidity got swept, you can see the pattern that formed on 1 hour. This is a doji. The next candle closed bullish. So this would have been the best entry for USDJPY. So since you've missed this move, if you insist on buying, if you insist on buying, you have to wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. If you insist on buying, you want to wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap before you buy. And that is about close to 100 pips from the current market price, if not more than, yeah, close to 100 and something pips from the current market price. Okay, so if you see a sell setup on GBPJPY on 4-hour time frame, if you see a sell setup on GBPJPY, you want to risk selling, okay, to this zone. Okay, personally, I would rather take a sell on, I would rather look for a sell on USD Okay, now before I will take a sell on USD JPY, before I'll take a sell, I want to ensure that Japanese yen is bullish. Okay, yen basket should be bullish before you take yen basket. Yen basket should be bullish before you sell USD JPY. Okay, yen basket should be bullish and dollar should be bearish before you sell USD JPY. Dollar index should be bearish, yen basket should be bullish. Okay, so for USD JPY, if you want to sell USD JPY, just be patient for FOMC minutes. After FOMC meeting, wait for FOMC meeting, which will be tomorrow. Okay, wait for that news to be released before you trade USD JPY. Look for USD JPY sell on Thursday. On Thursday, look for USD JPY sell. On Thursday or Friday, that is when you would have the opportunity to sell USD JPY. Okay, you have missed the buy move on USD JPY. Just patiently wait. Okay, wait for FOMC minutes to be released before you sell. USD JPY is going to sell massive. It's going to sell. Just patiently wait. Patiently wait. Okay, patiently wait. You can see price is currently at a premium area now. You can see if you apply your Fibonacci from this swing high to this swing low, price is at, see, if you want to take trade on USD JPY, if a bearish reversal pattern form at this point, sell USD JPY. If a bearish reversal pattern forms, you can see this fair value gap, though it was tested at this point. Okay, this is the first touch. This fair value gap is the first touch. And I told you guys the first touch most times is to create liquidity. The first touch. Okay, the first time price fills a fair value gap, most times the high of that fair value gap or the low of that fair value gap is used as liquidity. So they are likely going to come clear this liquidity. So once they clear this liquidity and a bearish reversal pattern forms, sell USD JPY. Sell USD JPY. Exactly. Sell USD JPY. If a bearish reversal pattern forms here, those of you that trade my strategy, you don't just jump in after a bearish reversal pattern forms, right? We want to see a shift in market structure on 1 hour or 15 minutes time frame. Okay, then we also need to see a retracement before we take a sell. Okay, so it's a sell for USD JPY. It's a sell for USD JPY. Good morning, Mr. William. Good morning, Mr. Lucy. Is there any other thing I want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Any question? If there are no questions, I would have to end the session. US 100. Let me see US 100. US 100. US 100. I hope this is it, right? US 100. This is it, right? Let's see. Okay, let me start with the weekly. uh, US 100. Okay, last week was bearish, and price is at a fair value gap, and this fair value gap is at premium. All right, this fair value gap is at a premium. Price fill this fair value gap, and we have what looks like a spine top here. Let's see daily. Okay, so on a daily, okay, so we can see on a daily we have patterns indicating change in trend from bullish to bearish. Let's confirm there is shift to market structure on 4 hour. If there is shift to market structure on 4 hour, then we could consider going selling bearish on. Few minutes. Okay, let's go to 4 hour. Okay. So I think shifting market structure occurred on 4 hour time frame. You can see what played out here first. Liquidity residing at this previous high was swept. You can see liquidity residing at this previous high was swept. So the shifting market structure occurred at this point on a 4 hour time frame. So what's happening here? Price retracing to fill a fair value gap. I'm sure. Price retracing. And what they did this morning was to clear all the liquidity residing at these highs. That's what they've done this morning. Okay, they've cleared the liquidity residing at these previous highs. And I think there's a fair value gap above these highs. Okay, let's confirm that on 1 hour. It's most likely there's a fair value gap above these highs. They want to fill. Let's see 1 hour. So you can see this fair value gap on 1 hour. I think, yeah, we have this fair value gap on 1 hour. So they might want to fill this fair value gap. So if you want to take a trade, you would consider selling after this fair value gap gets filled. Okay, you can see the gap between this high and this low. Okay, so look for sell setup after this fair value gap gets filled. That's my take on US 100. That's my take on US 100. Look for sales on US 100. You could look for sales for US 100. You cannot buy from the current market price. The buy started from this point. If you had wanted to buy, you would have bought from this point. If you had missed this move, you had another opportunity at this point to buy. If you had missed this move, probably you would have taken the risk buying from this point. So you had first opportunity, second opportunity, third opportunity. If you have missed those opportunities, then you shouldn't risk buying this US 100. You can't buy it. Before it will buy, it has to retrace. It has created a fair value gap here, so it has to retrace to fill this fair value gap. First, it will first come clear the liquidity residing at this low, then comes to fill this fair value gap. And this is where you can consider buying. You cannot buy from the current market price. You rather look for sales to this sell side imbalance. Do you have any question? Is there any other instrument you want us to look at? So I think that will be all for today's session. I wish you all a profitable trading day. Please ensure you apply good risk and money management. Understand that trading is a game of probabilities. Always approach the market with that mindset. Anything can happen in the market. No matter how good your setup looks like, the trade can still go against you. The trade can still go against you. Can still be wrong. The market is always right. That is why you need to apply stop loss. We all know that the institutions are the ones that make the market volatile. When they come into the market becomes very volatile. You don't know when these institutions will come into the market. You don't know. Okay, if you know when these institutions will come into the market, you can decide not to use stop loss, but you don't know when they will come. And if they come and you are in the opposite, you're doing the opposite of what they want to do, you're going to lose money, you're going to lose big. Okay, you're going to lose big. So please always use stop loss. Always use stop loss. The 90% to 95% of traders that lose money are most of them don't use stop loss. They are the ones that don't use stop loss. Most of the people that lose money in Forex, they don't use stop loss. They don't want to accept losses. And if you want to be successful in trading, you must be okay with losses. You must be comfortable with losses. It's inevitable. You will lose money. You will lose money. You just have to ensure that your losses are small compared to your winnings or your winners. Okay? Compared to your profits. So please always use stop loss. If you use stop loss, you will not blow your account. You could just experience drawdown, but you will not blow your account. For your account to blow, you would recover. You would recover. So please always apply stop loss. All right, so we'll meet tomorrow by 10 a.m. Bye for now.